Hey everyone. So just before we start, I wanted to show you what we did yesterday with my beautiful wife. We made a little garden for ourselves with all the herbs and stuff. So here I've got green pepper, I've got red pepper here, I've got two types of tomatoes. These are specialty from Mallorca, which you can't grow anywhere else. I've got some sage, and I have no idea what that is. My neighbor gave it to me, so we'll find out. I've got mint, beautiful mint, lots of it. And here in this little one, I've got two types of rosemary, the normal ones that we used to in the supermarket and the wild one. The tastes are the same, but this one is a bit more pungent. And then I've got thyme here, which is beautiful, and a bit of dill. So hopefully they grow and be prosper, and then I can always use them on my cooking shows. So today's ingredients. When we were in Colombia a couple of months ago on my honeymoon with my wife, I discovered some very nice stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how that works. I use something called Yuca, which is from South America. I was reading about it, and it's actually very healthy. So it's got 50% of your intake for vitamin C. It's got potassium, magnesium, so it's good for iron. Also, it's fat-free. It's got 0.3 grams of fat, which is basically nothing. And it's only 160 calories for a whole one of these, so it's very good. Now I'm going to show you how I'm going to boil this, because I'm going to mash it basically. So I'm going to show you how I do that. I've got some in the pan which I'm going to show you later already, but I'm going to show you how to do it because it's quite tricky. You need a very good knife that cuts it. Okay, so you want to cut it basically at this level, two sizes about chunks of that. Okay. And you want to take the ends off. It's very hard, but you have to take it off because you don't want to use that. Okay, I'll take that one off later. So now, how do you actually peel them? You take one, you bang it here, and you start taking the skin off like that. Okay. All the skin and all the color behind the skin has to be taken off. You see the color? That needs to be off. And then what you want to do, I have some butter here, so you want to put them in quarters, and you sort of want to take that middle bit off because that's the hard bit. Okay, you want to take that off, and you take them off, and you put them in the water. Okay, then I'm going to boil that, and that boils basically pretty much just like potatoes, but 10 minutes more or less. Okay, so I'm going to show you the rest of the ingredients what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do today is a puree or mash yuca with parsley, which I have here, okay, on top. And then I'm going to do some gambas al ajillo, which is basically a Spanish one, and I'm going to put that on top. So I've got my gambas, which I've peeled and cleaned. I like to leave the tails out, and I'm going to show you because I'm going to flambe these in sherry. It's going to be very exciting. Bit of fire. I've got parsley here. You can use dry ones or fresh ones, whichever you prefer. If you don't get your hands on a fresh one, then use the dry one, which they use actually quite a lot in Colombia. I've got about 5 garlic chopped finely here. I've got a bit of cayenne pepper here chopped, grounded finely. And I've got butter and milk from my mashed potato. Okay, I'm going to use sherry for flambeing, but don't worry, I'll show you all that later. And obviously, I'm gonna one of the most important things is that when you boil these, don't throw all the water away. So I have a mug here to take some of the water. If you want not so much of a thick mash, then you use some of the water that it boiled in to make it nice and creamy. Okay, so I let that boil and I come back to you. My beautiful yuca has been boiling now for 20 minutes, so that's pretty good. It's like a potato, and it's ready to mash. So what are we going to do? I've kept some water, by the way, of the boiled yuca in case I need to make it a bit thinner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one glass of wine of milk. Okay. I'm gonna put some butter in it. You can put as little or as much as you like. Put a few pieces. Okay, you can always add butter later. Then I have a ricer because that's the best way to do it. Before I do that, I'm going to put some salt, pinch of salt. By the way, there was some salt in the water as well, so it's important to put that as well so it absorbs it. Normally you don't put pepper in until later because you want to taste how it tastes like. So what I'm going to do is I use my new ricer, put some of my yuca in it, not in there preferably, right, and then get that riced into my dish here. There you go. It's the first batch. And then basically what you do afterwards is just pretty much stir it all together. And it becomes this lovely mashy yuca. It is a bit hard, as you can see I'm struggling, but it is going to be lovely, the result. You can also mash it, of course, but I learned that with this it makes it much more beautiful. Right, you can see now I've pretty much riced everything in there, so basically it's just a matter of mixing it. And if you see that you need more consistency of a not so thick mash, then what you do is you add some of the water to it. But that already looks beautiful, and then you season it and you have your yuca mash. So that was easy, except my new ricer already broke, so I have to buy a new one. So that's this is kind of the consistency you want, so that it falls a little bit off, right? So if you see that you need more, then you, from the same liquid that you boiled it in, you put a little bit more water in, and you keep doing that until you've got everything mixed. That's beautiful. So now I'm going to set this aside, wash my things, and I'm going to come back to you with my gambas and do the plate. Gambas al ajillo. I've got gambas with the tail on, as I like them. I've got garlic, got parsley, I've got a bit of cayenne pepper. You don't have to do that, but I like it. This is ready for serving. I'm going to put that in the microwave and give it a nuke for about 2 minutes, 1.5 minutes, and season it, and then put my gambas on it. Okay, so you need, the reason why I'm doing this here is because if you've got a fan and you put you make fire, it's gonna maybe burn your fan, so you don't want to do that. That's why I do it in the middle. So I suggest if you're doing it on your hob, please turn off your fan, because the fire will go inside your fan and then you have a problem. So my pan is hot on nice medium level heat. I'm gonna put my olive oil in, a little bit of olive oil. Let that heat up. I've got my sherry ready here to go. I just basically put a dash in, you'll see. So as soon as you need to do this is very quick, gambas al ajillo. You can do this very quickly. As soon as your oil heats, you want to basically start your gambas. So I can already see my oil heating up here. And first you put your gambas, and then your garlic very quickly, because garlic will burn in olive oil very, very fast. And as I say in every show, you do not want to burn your garlic because it tastes really bad. Okay, this was a very popular dish in the restaurant because gambas al ajillo normally does not have sherry, but I did my own twist on it. So here we go. I'm going to put my gambas in. You can see they already start cooking. Right, so you want to cook one side for about 10 seconds. Be careful, camera lady, you don't get oil in your face. And then once that's done on one side, you want to turn them around. That's about 20 seconds. Okay. And at this stage, you want to be adding your garlic. Okay. Okay, you can see, beautiful. Let that cook for another 10 seconds. And then what you do is you put a dollop of sherry in the middle. And then you just turn it like that and it catches fire. And that's it. Right, so that's it. All flambéed. Put some salt and pepper while in the pan. Very quickly everything. And now that's ready to serve. So, while that's sitting around there, I'm going to warm up my yuca for about a minute. Meanwhile, I'm going to take my gambas out, put it on a plate so it doesn't burn anymore, and it's ready for serving. Ah, you can smell the sherry. It's absolutely beautiful. Gonna put some of the sauce in. There we go. You put some parsley on it. That's gonna be going on top of the yuca, so I shall show you how I serve it. And I'll put a little picante on it. Not too much. Okay, so my yuca is done. I'm gonna add some pepper. I'm gonna add a bit of dry parsley on it for color. And I am basically gonna just put these on top like so. And I tell you something, I know my wife has been waiting for this. As she's holding the camera, she can't taste it. So what I'm gonna do is taste it for her with a nice fork. So you take a bit of yuca. Well, you taste it, and then you take one of these beautiful things. Oh my God, I tell you, magnificent. Have fun.